The most hated versus the most loved characters in Doctor Who. It's bound to happen over the show's 60-year history. But what are some of the most hated and the most loved characters? Let's take a look.
You help me! Think of something. Think of Alfie. Craig, don't let them take it all away.
Starting off with arguably one of the most hated New Who characters, Craig Owens. Craig Owens, depicted by James Corden, was only seen in 2 episodes across Series 5 and Series 6 filler episodes. One of the reasons why a lot of people don't like the character of Craig Owens is the acting portrayed on screen. A lot of people didn't like how James Corden portrayed the character. A lot of people, including myself, found the character of Craig overly annoying and a pretty unnecessary character in the first place.
Yep. Who lives upstairs?
Just some bloke.
What's he look like?
Normal, he's very quiet.
Unfortunately, Craig Owens was not quiet during these 2 episodes, and a lot of people didn't like the character, unfortunately, because a lot of people don't like James Corden, which transferred over into the liking and disliking of this particular character. Another reason a lot of people cite for not liking the character of Craig Owens is in the closing time, he was going to be converted into a Cyberman, and the ending for that really wasn't that great.
Because guess what? Daddy's coming home! Alfie!
He ended up fighting the cyber conversion because he heard his child crying, meaning he didn't get converted into a Cyberman, an ability so far we've only really seen Craig Owens have on screen at least, which leads Craig to be one of the Doctor Who's most disliked characters, but the same can't be said for the next character. When Martha Jones took to our screens in the mid to late 2000s, not only did she take to the screen, but she also stole everyone's heart. Freema's Martha Jones was an incredibly interesting and complex character put onto screen. Not only is the acting that Freema brings to the screen absolutely incredible, but the dynamic between Martha and the Doctor is also one that we hadn't seen in New Who up until this point.
To talk about?
I don't know anything. What you had for breakfast? What you watched on telly last night? How much you're gonna kill Dad next time you see him?
Is the doctor with you?
Mum, just leave it.
Since Martha Jones was last seen on screen within the Doctor Who universe, fans and people alike have been begging for her return. She really left an impression on the audience after episodes like The Sound of Drums and Human Nature, after bringing out some of the best acting the show has seen.
Don't just follow him around. I'm training to be a doctor.
Well, that certainly is nonsense. Women might train to be doctors, but hardly this Scythian, hardly one of your colour.
Oh, do you think? Bones of the hand. Carpal bones, proximal row, scaphoid, lunate, triquetral, pisiform, distal row, trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hammock, then the metacarpal
But
bone.
unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the next character we're about to discuss. A lot of fans would say that Ryan Sinclair is the complete opposite of a companion like Martha Jones. He doesn't get any standout moments, really no character development, and is completely two-dimensional. With there already being 2 other companions in the TARDIS at the time of Ryan being there, Ryan's character, played by Tosin Cole, really doesn't get an opportunity to shine. He is very much the 4th wheel in the TARDIS, with Graham, Yaz and the Doctor being the priority, with Ryan kind of just being there. Unfortunately, within the series, Tosin Cole really doesn't get an opportunity to shine, really doesn't get an opportunity to show off his acting chops. Within the show, it felt like they really didn't know what to do with the character of Ryan. They didn't know how to develop his character or really know what story to give him in the first place, leading a lot of people to say that Ryan might be one of the worst companions the show has ever had.
But you got it now. We're family. And I love you.
What did you just say?
I'm not saying it twice. Don't pretend you couldn't hear me the first time. I'm telling you what she used to tell me. Be the better man.
The same cannot be said for the next character that we're about to talk about, because a lot of people might say that this character is actually one of the best characters in Doctor Who. Sarah Jane Smith, played by Elizabeth Sladen, graced our screens alongside the 3rd and 4th Doctor, and then made a comeback in the early to late 2000s alongside David Tennant and Matt Smith. Not only was she so popular that she was the first ever classic Who companion to make it over into New Who, but she was also so popular that she got her own spin-off show, The Sarah Jane Adventures.
Just stuff it out. With the help of Andrea Yates.
Andrea was my friend.
She wished to save her own life. I could only remove you with her consent.
She agreed to it.
I must go now. Events are moving towards their end.
No, don't go!
I will return when the Earth is no more, and I will explore your potential further.
The whole reason that Sarah Jane Smith is so beloved and that she got her own incredible TV series is because Elizabeth Sladen was fantastic in the role as Sarah Jane Smith. She really brought some incredible acting to Doctor Who, and really emotional at that. Elizabeth Sladen's incredible acting made Sarah Jane such a relatable and great companion for the show, and arguably, if not the best companion that has ever graced the show.
Don't forget me.
you forget me.
It cannot be understated how impactful the character of Sarah Jane Smith was and how incredible Elizabeth Sladen was. The character that is not seen as favourably is one of the show's many villains, the Absorbaloff. The Absorbaloff, portrayed by comedian Peter Kay, is an absolutely abysmal character in an absolutely abysmal episode. The character could absorb people into its own flesh. Not only is the acting for the Absorbaloff just incredibly bad, the actor himself, Peter Kay, who portrayed the Absorbaloff, has said it was one of the biggest, if not the biggest mistakes of his entire career.
Where would I go? Everything I ever wanted.
Has been absorbed.
Oh, Elton, don't say that.
This villain completely failed to strike fear into the hearts of young children and was just disgusting to look at, let alone being in one of the worst episodes of New Who and just Doctor Who in general. And nobody will ever forgive this character for giving us the pavement slab moment. You know what I mean? A dastardly villain which will never make a comeback, and for very good reason. This character was disgusting, had much potential which was just not delivered on screen. But a villain whose potential has been shown on screen is the character of Davros, if not Doctor Who's best villains ever.
Interesting conjecture.
Would you do it?
The only living thing. A microscopic organism. Reigning supreme. A fascinating idea.
The creator of the Daleks, Davros, was introduced in one of the best episodes of Doctor Who's history, Genesis of the Daleks, alongside the Fourth Doctor. Every actor who has ever portrayed Davros has delivered his characteristics to a perfection. He is the mad scientist that you all expect to have created something like the Daleks with a lot of character, a lot of emotion, and a lot of great scenes between him and the Doctor. Since Davros was introduced to us all the way back in the 70s with Genesis of the Daleks, Davros has given us some of the best characterization and character development of the show's entire history. Davros is truly evil and one of the show's best villains, and if not one of the best villains in media. Davros is the Darth Sidious of Doctor Who before Darth Sidious even existed. One of the best compelling characters in the show, and I hope you all agree, and if you do, please comment down below.
Have confounded me for the last time!
Davros. I should have known.
The next most hated character we're about to speak about is one I've spoke extensively on this channel, and I personally don't think deserves the hate. Clara Oswald. Portrayed by Janet Coleman, a lot of people didn't like the characterization of Clara within Series 7 and her plot points that she was given within that series. A lot of people found the characterization of Clara to be quite frustrating and annoying, and that the whole Impossible Gal arc was bad, which unfortunately meant that Janet Coleman received a lot of hate for her portrayal of Clara Oswald, and the character of Clara Oswald also received a lot of hate. But this is one of the rare cases where in recent times the character of Clara Oswald has been looked on more favourably, and a lot of people have started coming round to the character and giving her a second chance. But of course, the final most loved character in Doctor Who is the Doctor in general.
This song is ending, but the story never ends.
A bit of a cop-out for the most loved character, as the Doctor is the most loved character and there are so many incarnations of the character now. But everybody watching, what's your favourite incarnation of the character? Mine's the 12th Doctor. What's yours? Comment down below. But everybody, that has been the most hated versus the most loved Doctor Who characters. What's your most hated character? What's your most loved character? And I hope you have all enjoyed today's video. But I've been your Samuel, and I will catch you in the next Doctor Who related video.